Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever felt like you're stuck? Like your English is good, you know the rules, you've got the words, but something just isn't clicking. You just don't sound natural. Well, you're in the right place. We're going to dive in and fix that. Let's look at how to get you from just good English to English that sounds completely fluent and natural by tackling some of those super common mistakes.
Okay, let's look at this sentence right here. So last Friday, I buy flowers and make breakfast for my wife. You totally get what the person is saying, right? The meaning is clear. But if you're a native speaker, it just sounds a little off. It's one of those classic mistakes that even advanced learners make. We're going to figure out exactly why it sounds that way and, more importantly, how to fix it for good.
So does that sound familiar? I bet it does. And hey, you are definitely not alone in this. To make this super practical, we're going to follow the journey of a learner named Andre. We'll look at the common mistakes he makes, and by helping him fix them, we're all going to improve our own English together. Think of him as our guide for today.
All right, first up, challenge number 1, telling stories in the past. This is huge. I mean, think about it. What do we talk about most of the time? What you did over the weekend, that funny thing that happened yesterday, your last vacation, it's all storytelling. So nailing the past tense, it's pretty much the foundation of everyday conversation.
Okay, so let's go back to Andre's sentence. You can see the mistake right here. He's using buy and make, present tense verbs, but he's talking about last Friday. That's a finished event. It's in the past. So the verb has to be in the past too. It's a simple rule. If the action is finished, you've got to use the past simple. It's not I buy, it's I bought. Not I make, it's I made. That one little change makes all the difference.
And here's where it gets a little tricky. I'm not going to lie. A lot of the most common verbs we use for storytelling are irregular. There's no magic rule for them, you just have to memorize them. It's a bit of a pain, I know, but look at this list. These are words you probably use every single day. And pay super close attention to read. The spelling stays the same, which is confusing, but the sound totally changes. It goes from read in the present to read in the past. Tricky, right?
Okay, so we've got a handle on finished stories. Simple enough. But what about things that started in the past and are still happening now? You know, situations that continue into the present. Well, that brings us to our second big challenge. And for this, we need a whole different tool in our grammar toolkit.
Here's another example from Andre. He said, I don't drink alcohol 2 months. Again, we understand it, but it just doesn't sound right. Why? Because the action, or in this case, the lack of action, started 2 months ago and it's still true today. This is the perfect time for the present perfect tense. It connects the past to the present. So instead you'd say, I haven't drunk alcohol for 2 months. See how that creates a bridge from then until now?
Now, when you use this tense, you have to pick between two tiny but powerful words, for and since. And it's actually really simple. Think of it like this. For is for a duration of time, a block of time, for 2 months, for a long time. Since is for a specific starting point in time, since January, since 2020. Getting this little detail right, it's a massive step towards sounding more natural.
All right, let's move on to challenge number 3. Get ready for a rapid-fire round. We're going to look at some super tricky words that sound almost the same, but mean totally different things. These are the little traps that can completely change what you're trying to say and cause some serious confusion.
First pair up, want to and won't. Oh man, these are so easy to mix up, especially when people are talking fast. Andre made this exact mistake. He said we won't rent a car in Cairo, but what he really meant was that he wanted to. One is a dream, the other is a flat-out refusal. They're complete opposites. You've got to train your ear to catch the difference.
And here's another classic, especially for Andre since he's planning a big move. Live versus leave. It all comes down to the vowel sound. Live is short, live. Leave is long, leave. One means you want to make a place your home, the other means you want to get away from it. The sound difference is tiny, but the difference in meaning is, well, huge.
And for our last pair, let's look at can't and don't. Andre started his lesson by saying, I don't hear you. And you might think, well, that makes sense, but the much more natural way to say it is, I can't hear you. Can't is about ability, or in this case, a temporary lack of ability. Don't is more about a choice or a regular habit, like I don't listen to podcasts is a choice. I can't hear you is a problem right now.
Okay, we are getting close. Now for challenge 4, which is all about the small words that make a big, big difference. I like to think of them as the secret ingredients to sounding fluent. We're talking about articles and prepositions. They're tiny, they're easy to forget, but wow, they have a huge impact on how natural you sound.
Here is such a simple, powerful trick for storytelling. It's a two-step pattern with articles. Step 1, when you introduce something new into your story for the very first time, use a or an. I watched a film last night. Step 2, from that point on, anytime you talk about that same film, you switch to the. The film was about hope. Seriously, just using this one little pattern will instantly make your stories sound more structured and natural.
Yeah, prepositions can be a real headache because they almost never translate one-to-one from other languages. But let's just do some quick fixes for 3 really common habits. Instead of saying on my job, the natural phrase is at work. Simple. Instead of came back to home, just drop the to. It's just came back home. And finally, for movies you want to see, they go on your watch list, not in your watch list. Easy fixes.
Okay, so we've talked about all these challenges, we've identified the problems, but knowing the problem is only half the battle, right? The real question is, how do we actually fix them? So let's wrap this all up with a super simple, actionable plan that you can literally start using today.
This is the exact plan that was given to Andre, and now it's yours. It's just 3 steps. First, every night before bed, take 2 minutes and just retell your day out loud. Your only goal, use the correct past simple verbs. That's it. Second, become an active listener. When you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, really focus on hearing the difference between those tricky pairs like want to and won't. And third, do a quick article audit. Grab a short email you wrote and just check. Did you use A&D correctly? Using that storyteller's trick we talked about.
And that's really what it all comes down to. Real progress isn't about learning 1,000 new things. It's about focused practice on the things that matter. So take a look at this plan. Which one of these feels like the biggest win for you right now? Because making just one small, consistent change is how you build momentum and really start sounding more natural. So what are you going to practice first?